Hey, this is We've Been Drinking MMA. We are predicting and breaking down the Volkanovski Makachev 2 pay per view card. This is the co main event. This is Kamaru Usman versus Khamzat Chimaev at 185 pounds. This is going to be a very interesting fight. This is backhand. My pick is going to be Khamzat Chimaev, and Lousie's pick is also Khamzat Chimaev. Chimaev is minus 280, $280 to profit 100. The one thing about this fight, though, is I don't want to bet Chimaev before the fight. What I'm waiting for, because Kamaru Usman is such a legend at 170 pounds, he was a champion there, pound for pound #1 in the UFC for a year or so, and then he lost the belt to Edwards in his last 2 fights ago, right? But Usman didn't look that great in his last fight, but he could be going through some injuries, and now he might have been healed up. It's hard to say, and that's why he didn't look as good. Usman has a 1 inch reach advantage over Chimaev. That's troubling because Usman has a better jab than Chimaev. On top of that, Usman has proven, obviously, that he's an amazing fighter who defended his belt. I don't know how many times, but he beat quality opponents. Obviously, Masvidal knocked him out, Gilbert Burns, all those people. So, he's got like 5 title defenses. Unbelievable against really great fighters. Colby Covington, beat him twice. Even TKO'd him once. So, ultimately, you got to give credit to Kamaru Usman, even though Kamaru Usman is a 170-pound champ and he's moving up to 185 pounds, which is kind of insane on 1 week notice as well. That's why the pick is Chimaev. Ultimately, is that Chimaev has been training for this fight at 185 pounds, and he's ready for 185 pounds. Chimaev used to fight at 170. He's been at 185, I think, against Holland in his last fight as well. And this is his second fight at 185, I think. So Chimaev is ready. He's 29 years old, in his prime. Kamaru Usman is 36 years old, getting out of his prime maybe. But you got to give credit to Usman is that, he's always there in a fight. He's got that jab. He's got the wrestling, and he's got that tough chin. Thing is that Chimaev is faster than him. Chimaev arguably has better wrestling, at least offensive wrestling, as far as the chain wrestling. He can punch to the takedown very quickly. Chimaev he throws in combinations versus Usman is more of a 1-2 guy and then a jab. So it's arguable who has the better offense. I would say Usman's more of a guy who can jab you and more tools in the arsenal. Chimaev's a little bit more aggressive with the combinations. So that's going to be fun to see play out. But ultimately, Usman has better defense. Usman has better head movement. Chimaev really doesn't move his head because Chimaev is super aggressive, and that's is what's crazy about him. Is Usman usually goes forward and pressures everybody, and so does Chimaev, but Chimaev pressures more than Usman. So it's going to be very fun to see the fight. 2 pressure fighters, 2 come forward fighters, and Chimaev pressures even faster. He's faster than Usman. The offense is going to be interesting with Chimaev with the combinations, Usman with the better jab. It's fun to think about, But for me, the reason I want to do a live bet is because you got to give credit to Usman. Even though he's taking this fight on 1 week notice and he's moving up to 185, you have to look at it, the fact that he's a legend. He might have been injured in his last fight. That's why he didn't move very well. And you just got to give him credit, for what he's done. And that's why I think minus 280, $280 to profit on Chimaev is just too expensive, in my opinion, with a fight where Usman has a 1 inch reach advantage and the better jab. And he's very competent in the grappling and the wrestling. Obviously, we know Usman's wrestling background. But Chimaev ultimately is undefeated, 12-0. And I want to wait for the fight to get close. And I think it could be a close fight. And if it does get kind of close because Usman has the reach advantage and the better jab and the better IQ, definitely, to be quite honest. Chimaev just, is walking into punches, but he's throwing combinations and wrestling you. But Usman times you better. And that's why Usman has a better IQ. I think it's going to be a lot closer fight. So if it's in the third round, second round, late in the second, and Chimaev it's a closer fight, like let's say Chimaev takes the first round, Usman takes the second. In the third round, it's like 50-50. People are like, oh, damn, we shouldn't have bet on Chimaev. That's when I might just take a bet on Chimaev just because I know that he can switch to the wrestling. He's faster than Usman. He's bigger, naturally bigger. He's in his prime. And it's just going to be fun to see the fight, though, take place. So please like, subscribe, comment for this for the YouTube algo, and look forward to doing the recap. So please look out for that because this fight's going to be a barn burner from start to finish. Thank you so much for Kamaru Usman for taking this fight on 1 week notice. He's a true champion and just an unbelievable fighter, unbelievable heart for doing this. It's just going to be a hell of a fight because these guys like to hit hard and they like to come forward. So thanks again. Like, subscribe, and comment, please, for that YouTube algo. Thank you.